You know, trying to simplify and explain things is tough. Long story short is SEC called me yesterday, and because I had called them during the Occupy SEC 23 rally, in which I encouraged everyone else to do, and I'm still encouraging you to do, and to leave a message because you're going to get an answer machine. Long story short is, though, SEC is going to tell you that they have nothing to do with nothing, and FINRA is going to tell you, well, SEC approved it, and it's going to go back and forth, back and forth. Long short of it is that we need to spread the word, and we need the SEC and FINRA to grow up, stop trying to protect their little friends, which I'll tell you what, they're going to, even when they call you, if they do finally call you back, they're going to act like you're conspiracy theorists. All right, but long story short is we know that naked shares exist. What are naked shares? They're counterfeit shares. They're illegal shares. They're shares that shouldn't even exist. MMTLP, and which is now NextBridge, got caught up in all this. FINRA claims to safeguard the investor, us retail investors. They claim this when you look them up on their file. If you look them up, on their website, all throughout that, it looks like they're trying to protect the investor and protect the retail investor. Yet, after having a 40-day notice from MMTLP that they were going to go private and be called NextBridge, they never notified the shorts that they had to close their positions. There was never a memo. There was never a notification. The shorts never had to close their positions. Well, why is this important? What is a short, for those people that don't know? And this video is for those people that don't normally invest. But you may be investing and not even know it. Like if you got a 401k. This is stuff that actually affects us. It affects us all. And it's really important that this gets resolved. Not only personally for me, because they have what could actually amount to millions of dollars being held up over the fact that FINRA decided to do a U3 halt, because they love to act like they're confused when it comes right down to retail investors or people like you and me, trying to get our money, and they don't know what's going on. We're just confused about everything. This all just came up on us all of a sudden. They had 40 or 41 days of notification, all right, that this business was going to close, MMTLP. All right, that they were going to change over to NextBridge. It was going private, so all short positions had to be closed. All right, a short is when shares are sold prior to being actually purchased. All right, short sales dilute the actual shares. So when people open up short positions, or let's face it, the hedge funds and the Richie Riches of the world, when they open up short positions, it brings down the price of the stock. It actually puts companies out of business. It's a ridiculous practice that shouldn't even exist. It doesn't, produce anything, except for more money for rich people trying to put good people out of business. But they don't have to pay for those short positions, which is kind of like they're saying, okay, hold on to that share for $10, and I'm counting on it to go down in price, and maybe when it hits $5, then I'll pay for my position, which basically they're not paying for anything. What they're doing is they're getting the difference, which is $5 back, because they had the money in their account to hold that position at 10. When it went down to 5, they could say, okay, well, I'm going to give you your 5, but you're going to give me back 10. So basically they just get back $5. Now what happens is they're allowed to keep on pushing that position out further and further. If they can successfully bankrupt a company, guess what? They don't ever have to pay anything, and they only make the profits on the differences, which is huge. It makes millions and billionaires all the time, or billionaires even billionaire. They get even richer off of it. But yet, in the meantime, all those people that bought shares in good faith, the regular Joes like me and you, we get screwed. Now your share is worthless. Now, if that were to happen, if that would have happened, that's actually, I guess, based upon the rules that are set up, that's fair. But what's not fair is when your company gives notification to FINRA that in 41 days before they're going to go ahead and go private, which leaves the shorts with no position, but they have to pay for their position. They have to close out their position. Not one of them did, because 2 days before that date happened, all right, on December 8th, they closed, they did a U3 halt, which froze all the positions, which means that we couldn't sell our stocks that we bought in good faith, ready to sell at a certain price. We couldn't sell them. And the shorts didn't have to pay their position out. Literally, billions of dollars that they don't have to pay back? I don't think so. That's not the way it works. The accountant don't work that way. They have to pay out at some point, unless they can kind of make them magically disappear, which apparently they've been successful many a times doing before. They can't claim that the company went out of business, so there's no one to pay back, because the company is still in business as Nexbridge. And it's very important that this message get passed on to those people that normally don't invest. All right, there needs to be a spotlight put on this. Now, many attempts have happened, through the rally that happened this weekend, which was called Occupy SEC 23. Hashtag FINRA fraud. But yet, still not enough of a message has been out there. There was a little bit of a piece that was done by the Marine, which is a guy that also has a YouTube channel and is on Twitter, where he got some national coverage for about 3.2 seconds. Now, it was a little longer than that. But nobody's putting any real time on this. And even after they did that, they had this guy that went on there right directly after the Marine that acted like we were a bunch of conspiracy nuts again. You got to get that out of your head that there's nothing illegal going on, and this is the other guy after the Marine that was on there, acting as if we're all just being a bunch of crybabies or something. The whole thing is extremely frustrating. It's also extremely hard to explain. What was that, Tony? Shoot, I forgot his. You know who I'm talking about if you're an investor. But Tony tried to explain it where he was trying to simplify it, and it still went on as a 15-minute video that went a little rambly. No offense, Tony. It just it wasn't the bullet point clarification that I thought it was going to be based upon the title on the video. Because this is a very simple situation, but yet still very complicated. Let me try to explain again. The short sales are when shares are sold prior to being actually purchased. Short sales dilute. In other words, it brings the price down. And it does that without them actually having to spend a dime. When someone opens a short position, they don't pay for it until they close it out. We covered that. All right. Now, here's the part why everyone's saying FINRA fraud, so on and so forth. FINRA allowed, according to their own books, according to their own what they had posted on the internet, 9.5 million shares to be sold that didn't exist. There were 9.5 million shares that they allowed. And these were naked shares. These were shares that were never covered. They were illegal shares. They were however you want to put it. But they were never covered. But here's the thing. It wasn't, that's according to their own books. All right. Once the share are bought back at the current price, what it would have done, it would have kept raising the stock prices. Hence, the reason why the price would rise is because they would have to pay. They would have to pay back their positions, which they never did. And as they pay back their positions, that makes the price of the stock go up higher and higher and higher. If you have only based upon their own books, there 9.5 million positions, shares. I'm sorry, 9.5 million shares closing out. Every time a share is closed out, or they pay for it, it's going to raise the price higher and higher and higher and higher. Hence the reason why we believe the U3 halt happened. The illegal U3 halt. We believe there's an insider in FINRA that decided, I have to halt this because all my buddies are about to go bankrupt here. because as the price went up higher and higher and higher, based upon everyone closing out their positions, even if it was only the 9.5 million shares, that would have raised the price immensely. What happened with MMTLP was 2 days before they closed, we were at like $13.50 a share, because a lot of people, it was getting a lot of news, a lot of hype. Then all of a sudden the shares started going down, down, down. Based upon the value, based upon the numbers, you could tell that nobody was closing out the short positions. If anything, they were adding more short positions. More and more and more short positions. So now in the meantime, on Thursday night, we assumed we were going to wake up Friday morning and all them short positions would be forced to close. All right. Not only did they have to close because on Thursday night, they did the U3 halt. Okay. They were allowed right up until Thursday night to short it. So it went from $13 or $12.50, $13, I don't even remember anymore, all the way down to $2.90, and then it got closed out, trying to make it look like the share price was at $2.90. But yet, based on the volume, based upon those people that had the investments that everyone knows they didn't sell, we didn't sell at $13. Why would we sell when it was at $2? Nobody sold. That didn't create these huge volumes that happened. What happened was all the volume was going on because it's obvious that somehow the hedge funds and the shorts were told that it was going to be halted that night. There's no other explanation for it. It's common sense. And what that's doing is it's ripping off normal retail investors. Or at least they're trying to do that. In the meantime, there are a lot of there's a lot of lawsuits that are being filed out there, but for people that have a lot of money, that don't mean anything to them. If they can push this off a little further, a year or two, there's example after example of rich people dying way before they have to pay off anything. And then what are you going to do then? You can't make me pay, I'm dead. There are people in FINRA and there are people in the SEC that can do something about this. There are people, good people like me and you, that have died since this has happened. All right. There are good people that will die probably before it's resolved. The only solution here is that FINRA and the SEC, there's all of the MMTLPs have CUSIP numbers. It'd be very easy to grab them together and open up trading again for the 2 days that we were promised. All those short positions need to be closed out. All those people that shorted, that made the agreement when they put their short position in that they were going to pay for this, they need to pay. This is going to increase the price based upon our best estimate into the thousands. It's going to make a lot of million and billionaires. Unfortunately not the people that were normally millionaire and billionaires. They'll lose a lot of money, but fair is fair. And there's no other way that this can be resolved at this particular point. They've ignored it now for well over 50 days. I guess the question is, how long can they ignore it? How long will the government allow that to be ignored? Unfortunately, a lot of our government officials might be tied up into this. It's very possible that they were investors in these hedge funds that were doing this. There's very little other explanation for it. Even a few 100 million shares would have pushed the price up into the thousands. But here's the thing. Our best estimates is there's close to 1 billion naked shares out there. Illegal shares. Which could easily push it up to $10,000 a share. With my lousy 2,600 shares, that would make me have $26 million. But you know what? FINRA has made statements before that they protect those that need protecting or deserve to be protected. Go ahead and watch Ali's at Trading Secrets video. You'll see what I mean. It was posted yesterday, the day before. I guess we don't know the right people. It's important that this message gets pushed on. I don't care who's saying the message or how they're saying it. If you believe in justice, if you believe in what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong, and if you believe that fairness needs to happen, and there's not rules for thee and not for me. If you believe in any of that, you need to push this video on. You need to push any video on that's about MMTLP, FINRA fraud, SEC. You need to hit them like buttons. You need to push these videos out. You need America to hear. You need the people that don't normally hear this message to hear that a lot of nefarious things are going on, and this needs to stop. Trading needs to open up for 2 more days on MMTLP. Those positions need to be closed. The books need to be set straight. And those of us that were smart enough to invest in this need our money. I know there's another YouTuber that just posted something the other day about how he only had $20 to go out and buy food. I mean, I'm pretty hard up, but not that hard up yet. But I could get there. Right now I'm trying to rent out one of my rooms. I have to rent out my room so I can pay my monthly bills. So, well, I already got the monthly bills covered, but so I can have some extra money, a little extra money, which ain't much, but it's, enough to help get me by so I can buy my Grubhubs and whatever, But it's important that this message gets passed on. People like me that invested in this, that deserve their payout at this particular point, are sitting around trying to nickel and dime it when we should be like on our yacht somewhere, or driving in our new car. In the meantime, we're kind of stuck doing nothing, waiting for someone to do the right thing. Well, they might not do the right thing right now, but they eventually will. But we need your help. We need your help to spread this message. Hit share, hit like, push this message on, push all the messages on that are similar to this, and let's force our officials to do something about this. Thank you.